Hi guys, Daniel here from TermiGold. Welcome to the website. Today I'm going to show you guys at home how to do a termite inspection just like we do as professionals. We do this every day. I train all my staff in the same way I'm going to show you guys right now. So it's going to make you guys better inspectors and find termites or old damage where you wouldn't have before. So there's a lot of different things and experience that comes into it, but if you carry out your inspection exactly what I'm showing you now, you won't miss any major areas. You may miss subtle hints, but that's just experience. So this is going to help you guys a lot finding them, where to bait, what to do, and how to put a system in as well. But the first part of it is to do a thorough inspection. You don't need a lot of gear, simply a torch and a screwdriver or a sharp probe. That's all I'm going to use today to show you. So I'm going to show you internally how we do it first, and then I'll show you around the external side of the home and show you all the conducive areas. This home here has had termite attack. I'm going to show you what they do to the seals and stuff inside. We've already put a treatment around this one, but yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how we carry out the inspection in the right manner so you find more termites to bait on active areas. Thanks guys, let's get inside and have a look how we're going to get this inspection started. So I've just opened the door to do an internal termite inspection. I do this the same way on every job and have for thousands of jobs. I train all my technicians exactly this way. So if you follow and follow the system we use, you're going to find a lot more termites, you're going to find a lot more damage, and you're not going to have the ongoing problems, because once you find the source, you can do something about it. You can bait on it, or rectify it, or put a system in around it. It's all going to help. So what I do as I walk in the door, I check the inside where the architraves always meet the door jamb. There's always that join. It's a painted area, but sometimes you see a slight gap in it with a mud lead or any gap whatsoever you find in your jamb. That's where you're looking into those areas for termites, because you'll see a fine mud lead in these areas. Also along the skirting. So you look along the skirting, that top edge of the skirting, always to look for a mud lead. You're also down low, you're tapping. With the back of your screwdriver, I've also got a torch and a sharp screwdriver. That's all I'm using today. I'm doing it the way you can do it at home. So you're walking through here, I'll do this first entry wall first. I go up that internal corner, I'll check out the door jamb, I check along the corners, down this internal corner here, looking for any signs of any crack, any mud leads, any distorted paint on the architraves, and I'm also tapping that on the way around to find out any hollows in the timber. So basically I know that wall's safe now, so I do this panel here. I just do wall by wall in a clockwise direction around the house. If you do every wall separately in a clockwise direction, you won't miss anything major. You might miss slight things, but nothing major ever. So I'm checking this wall out, I'm looking at the top of the skirtings, I'm giving the skirtings a bit of a tap as I go. Up that edge, across the skirting, then the wall. Another trick to do too is to find old damage, you tap the wall. If you tap that wall and hear old frask or droppings coming out, it could be dry termite leads, which is a sign you've either got termites or you've had them in that area. So I've done that wall, I'm happy to move on. I'm doing the same on this little panel. Treat every little panel the same. Walking along here, tap. I'm shining my torch at the top edge of that skirting there. That's always the point with the frask coming through. So the mud leads will be along these areas. Then I go up that internal corner, same sort of thing, across the corners, looking for any gaps in the corners, against ceiling or against the wall. If you see any mud leads or orangey type mud in those areas, that could mean you've got termites or active in those areas. Same thing, down that edge, tap. Nothing there, solid, all good. Same sort of thing along this wall now. So it's the same system on every wall of the house, all the way around the house until you've done the complete circumference in a clockwise manner. I do room by room, your door, skirting, internals, wall, next one. So along here the same, I'm looking along that skirting, I'm looking at top edge, I'm also tapping as I go along to find out any hollows. You've got a bit of a gap here, but there's no mud leads in it. So I'm happy with that. Then you go up the internal corner, along the skirting, the corners, down that internal corner. Then I'm checking this window out. Termites always hang around large timber areas. So the side of this window is a major area because you've got two studs up that support this lintel above it. So it's a big feeding zone. So you're always looking at internal corners or beside windows, because that's the big feeding zone of termites. A lot of them will be in the window frame, but also doing structural damage to the studs either side of the window. So I'm really checking out the back edge of these corners and the internal side of the cornice with the torch as I go through. So you look at those architraves, look at the leading edge of those architraves all the way around, across the top as well. So I'm doing a full perimeter of this window, and I'm tapping all that to make sure there's no hollows at all in this wall frame. Just get along and tap, take your time, there's no rush. Don't rush trying to find termites. So basically that wall's covered, so I know that's free of termites. Same thing on this wall, it's a simple wall. Because it's a straight wall, they could be anywhere. Normally in a windowed wall, they're around that window area. Same sort of thing, I've got a gap in the skirting here, but there's no mud leads, it's solid, so I know it's safe. So I'm just working my way along, shining the top edge of that skirting, up this internal corner, up to the cornice, along the cornice, down that internal. Now I'm doing the wall. So just work your way along the wall, looking for any water stains, any defects, any blistered paint. Give it a tap, can't hear any frass dropping, so I know it's safe. Now I'm onto this nib wall here. It's only a short wall, but I still do it. I treat it like a wall of a room. So I'm walking along this nib wall, I'm doing the skirting, up that internal, across the top, then the wall. Giving it a good tap to listen for any frass that's dropping down. If you do hear things dropping down, give that area another tap. If you hear more and more, it'll be worth investigating into that wall to see what's going on behind it. Right now I'm in the kitchen area, so I'm doing room by room. I treat every room separately. Treat every room like it's an inspection of that whole area. Don't look at the whole house. Look at like a room by room situation. Break that room into wall by wall, and you'll never miss anything major. I've done thousands of these. I've never missed major things. We've all missed minor things. That's just a part of learning. And some things you never see with termites. Doesn't matter how good you are. So don't be deflated if you don't find little bits and pieces, but you'll never miss major damage doing it this way. So we're in the kitchen now. So as before, I open the door. I check all your architraves, where they hit the door jamb. I'm really looking at them because that's where you'll see any first stages of termite damage. Little bit of frask, which is in mud leads, they build up behind the timbers. Get down low, it's important to get down low. Grab your screwdriver or probe, get down low and look in your skirtings. Skirtings are always your first point. Termites always come from the ground up. So your termites is normally your first telltale sign, or window frames, because it's a big volume timber area. So always look at those. Get under here, look at the underside of the shelvings, check out the shelvings on the way up. And normally, you know, if you see it's all clear, you're pretty right. Just give it a tap if you can get your hand in there. Give it all a tap, make sure it's right, same sort of thing. So just do it thoroughly. Always look at the back of the architraves too. It's another spot, if the termite's packing tight, it'll separate the back of the architrave from the wall. So you'll see a little gap and you'll see little mud leads there. These are all telltale signs. It's very fine sometimes, 1 millimetre, but that gives you a reason to investigate further into that area. So you've done that wall, same sort of thing. I'm going to treat this like a wall, this like a wall, same thing. With kitchens though, I always run the sink. Every time, turn it on while you're doing the inspection, fill both bowls up, because what you're checking for is leaks under the kitchen sink. If you've got a leak somewhere, it's conducive to termites. So showers, sinks, toilets, all those areas, if they're leaking, that's the first point termites will hit most of the time. They love water, they need water to move and build their leads. So be critical of those areas. So I've run that sink, I always check underneath, make sure there's no leaks, nothing's going on in there. It's all clear on this one, so we're all good. So now I'm going to do this wall. As I said, the same sort of scenario. I check along the bottom, I'm looking at all internal angles, up the sides, your cornice and down. So just give it a bit of a tap. Doesn't matter where it is, you can always tap the walls to listen to that old frask. So on this wall's the same, we're going to do the same along the internal corners, along the bottom there. Can't see anything, back up to the corners, all the way along, and the internal corners of this jamb. So you're looking for any blistering paint, any hollow areas, any subtle signs of mud leads. That's what you're looking for on the jambs. The jambs are a bit of a telltale. They'll give away your first time you find termites most of the times, either in a door jamb or skirting or architraves. So give it a tap. If you hear a hollow sound, it doesn't sound solid all the way up, check it further. It could be termite damage behind it, which is weak in the back of the timber, and it's giving a more drummy sound. So tap all the way along, same down the side. So to me, this all looks good. It looks clear as you walk out of the room. Always have a look at your ceiling. You don't want any water stains because termites go to water. So I'm checking out the ceiling as I leave a room. Okay, every time I do it the same. Now get into this room, it's a living room, so this is the family room. I check this wall out as one wall, I do that one as one wall, then I walk into the next room and then I come out. So this wall here, I'm going to check out the same, the leading edge of all your architraves where they hit the door jamb. This is a big timber area here as well. It's a sliding door, so I know it's got a big beam across the top. It's got double studs or triples that support that beam. So a termite's got a lot of food, a big food source in this area. So really concentrate around this jamb on this one. So I'm doing the leading edges all the way around. I'm going to give it a tap. Make sure it's all good across the top. Really focus on those leading edges of that architrave and jamb. Down the side, same sort of things. Give it a good tap all the way. Check out your skirting. Up the internal corner. Across the corners. And you know that's got the all clear because I couldn't see any signs anywhere. This wall here is the same. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to work my way along. See here where you've got timber very low. So that jamb is pretty much sitting on top of the slab. So that's very conducive to termites, especially if you've got a flashing that's playing up on the outside. Termites only have to come a little way to get in under that and track up towards the ceiling. So really check out these spots where you've got a window jamb on the concrete. So I'm looking for any mud leads, any distortion in the timber, any blistering of the paint. Work all your way up, go across and down exactly the same. Now I'm doing the skirting. I'm giving it a tap as I go through, looking for any mud lead. Just gentle taps every couple of 100 mil. Up that internal corner, across the skirting, the corner, sorry. Right, look at that leading edge and then I just check out the whole wall to make sure there's no sign of any water stain or any blistering of the plaster. And that's it. So after this stage I'll do this door jamb, leading edges, checking them right out, give it a tap all the way around. No hollows, check all that door jamb out. Now I'll lead into this room and that's one room done there. As I come out of this room, I'll do this side here. So I'm just going clockwise all the way around, room by room, into another room, and then finish on, keep going in that direction. So guys, if you do every room by room, on a room by room basis, as I said, you'll never miss big things, but you'll pick up so much that you've never seen before. You can't just randomly look in areas for termites. You've got to have a system and a structure and do it the same in every room. If you do so, for one, you'll learn a lot more about termites. For two, you find a lot more, but it's going to help you baiting and putting a system in the right areas of that home. Thanks, guys. All right, so on the outside of a house, you're always looking for conducive areas. As I said, 9 times out of 10, the termites go to these conducive areas. They need food and water. They need water to build their mud leads. They need a food source, which is your home. So if they've got that combined, it's perfect for them to keep moving and foraging through your home. Once they get a taste of the timber in your home, they leave a pheromone trail. So they take that back to the colony and say, hey guys, got a great feed up here, let's all go for it. And that's what they do, that's how they work. That's what's so hard to get rid of termites once you've had them, because other colonies can get onto that pheromone trail and track into your home as well. So be super careful when you do get them. You do want to kill the colony. Don't spray them. You're killing 2,000, you want to get rid of 1,000,000. Always bait. Baiting's the best way. It's the only scientifically proven way in the world to get rid of a colony. So find active, bait on them, get rid of that colony. Get rid of the source and you'll limit damage in the future from that colony. So here you can see a water tank, guys. So for one thing, water tanks give off water, don't they? So if it's not plumbed right, if the overflow is not going into a storm water, it's always going to leave water around the building. Not only that, but it conceals termite entry. You can't see behind all this. So we don't really know what's going on behind it. So you could have a termite lead coming up that you don't see. So these areas you've got to really check behind regularly and make sure you haven't got concealed areas that you can't see anything going on, because they'll be inside doing damage and you don't know about it. So always make sure they're plumbed. You can see these downpipes coming into the tank. That's fine, but the overflow coming out of the tank is what you want to make sure is plumbed, because if it's constantly leaking water against your building, it creates that perfect environment for termites to come in. As you can see, this pipe here, it's an overflow pipe. But where that go, right beside the footing, that's the problem, guys. You want to divert these pipes away from the building. Don't create a pool of water around the building. This block here, it's cut, it's a sloping block. So you can see the retaining wall along here. And look at the termite damage. I'm only having a quick look, but look at the termites get in this retainer wall. They're smashing it, you know. They're not active in there now, but they've certainly done some damage. This garden edging here, what it creates is a damming type effect with water on the inside here. So when it rains heavy, for one, you've got a sloping block with drainage issues, but water's going to sit in here and it's actually sloping back into the building. So to me, you don't want garden edging up against your house like this. You want to fall this away and create drainage create flow into a drain, so you haven't got ongoing problems with water against your building, because this will create massive problems along here. And if your weep holes are below this level, you're in big dramas. The termites come in and up. As I said, they love water. This, on a place like this, the back of the house, in your cut side, so they've cut into the slope, is always very conducive to termite attack. Let's have a look around the corner and see what else we can find. So as I walk around the side here, I can see this tree here. It's touching the downpipe. Look, it's not a massive tree, but still, vegetation up against the structure, they can track along the tree to tree branches and roots into the building. The root system on this, you don't know how far it goes. So it could be tracking all the way to the house. They follow the root line, they're up in the cavity before you know it. So big trees close to the building are a big no-no. Even garden beds up against the building you don't want. This is a pretty simple house and pretty low maintenance, but see the drainage, it's not great. So along here, water's going to sit along here constantly. So it creates that perfect environment for termites. You got a timber fence along here that was treated once upon a time, but after 7 years of treatment's out of it. So now they could feed on that. They've got a food source there. You've got vegetation touching the gutters. For one, it blocks up your gutters. They overflow and create water problems. But two, termites can track along trees and roots to get to your building. All right, guys, this is the back of the termite damage inside. So there's the toilet. We found the damage, and the robe's about here. They've pulled bricks away here to suss out what's going on with the frame. Builders have done this. So why they got in here, who knows? But you've got a few reasons it could have happened. Look, you've got a damaged plumbing pipe there. That's a sewer inspection outlet. So who knows? That could have leaked water. A leaking tap. I notice this tap's dripping. Constant water flow against your building. That's what you want to stop. Downpipes leaking, gutters leaking, hot water services leaking, taps, anything that has a constant water supply against your building, you certainly want to minimise. Do the maintenance to them to stop the threat of future termite attack in these areas. So here, guys, you've got a tap that's been dripping a while, and the drain, it's not flowing into that drain, so it's pretty poorly done. So water goes off that concrete and just sits in a pool of water around there. Another thing you've got right here is timber against the building. So what it does, it creates a concealed entry point for termites. They can come up that timber, especially if that was in the ground contact, which it's not, but this side is. They could come up through that timber, find an opening. They'll need 2 millimetres to get inside. Normally they do it under your cavity and come up through your brickwork and inside the cavity, but they can come up in any concealed areas, even downpipes behind them and stuff like that. Like even downpipes like this, if you've got a square downpipe you can't see behind, they could track up behind that and get in through your eaves. They're very secretive. They'll get in wherever they can and do it while they're so they have concealed entry. So termites, they'll always try and get into spots you can't find. Retaining walls and fences are a great source of food for termites. They love them. There's a big food supply there. They'll get in on the soil side of that. They can even create nests in these areas. So what it is, it's a great area to bait on termites. What we want to try and achieve is find the termites around your house, either in vegetation or timbers in the ground, before they get in your house and bait on them. We want to save your house. Don't use your house as a guinea pig. We want to be proactive and sort out around your house before they get in. So if you walk along a retainer, well, what you're looking for, same thing inside. You're looking for packed mud leads. You're looking for leads coming outside. You're looking for damage. When you find active, simply bait on it. Keep baiting till that colony's gone. Save your home. That's our goal. That's our goal we always try. So when you're walking along a retaining wall, you're looking in these areas, upper side here, you're looking for mud packings. You're looking for termite damage. I can see this post here. It's got old damage. It looks old. You know, to me it's very old, but look, they always come from the bottom up and they're feeding in these areas, which means it's pretty much got no structural strength anymore because they've eaten underneath it. You look at this next post. More damage. Termites have smashed the bottom of this. So this has got no structural value at all of this. I get my probe, I can just push it right through there. So that's completely done. They would have been up the back of this. They would have been on the other side of this, foraging all the time. We baited on these and got rid of a colony, so it's awesome. You find them in an area like this, slam the bait on there, cover it with a damp cloth, put a bit of grass or whatever over it, just leave it. Let them feed for a few weeks, come back, do the same again, get rid of the colony before they hit your home. That's our goal.